So what is the metaverse? It's a term you've probably heard in a lot of different cases recently. And in short, the metaverse is the idea of a digital world that we live in, as opposed to real life. Now, how do we get there into this digital world? It's through a lot of different ways. It's through a mix of virtual reality environments, it's through augmented reality, and it's through even just the screens that we have in front of us. That could be one portal, I guess, to it, or one way to interact with it. And those are the means by which we're going to enter into this much larger digital world. We're going to spend, as some people would say, the majority of our time on a daily basis. But that's really the goal behind the idea of the metaverse. So the difference between the metaverse and just being in VR generally is I don't think that you would have anybody going in and playing Beat Saber and saying they're in the metaverse, right? If you're like just doing a singular game in a very limited way on a certain platform, I think what the metaverse more so entails, particularly when you're looking at VR, is this idea of world building and having things and having different individuals interacting with you in that, and having things like real estate, having things like art galleries, having things like games, but not that are so siloed off from this larger community, because, you know, the verse in metaverse comes from the idea of a universe in and of itself. And so when you're looking at those sorts of experiences that you're having, it's not something that's incredibly discrete. It is something that's a totality of a digital experience. And so it's tricky because I don't think we have hard and fast answers to those questions around VR or AR. Actually, like, where are those lines drawn? I think they're constantly being drawn and then erased and then rewritten and then just, you know, reimagined entirely as this thing develops. So in a sense, no, but it just depends on what elements of VR you are engaging with. So the metaverse is for, if you listen to the people that are marketing the metaverse, think about who they're talking to. They're saying it's for everybody. They're saying, you know, you can be there as a kid, you can like hang out with your friends and do things. And in some way it's interesting. Kids and teens are some of the people that are most enthusiastic about this and are open to doing so and hanging out in VR and the like, because they've grown up in a world where it really does exist. You know, if you put on a VR headset, sometimes you can get nauseous. If you're not accustomed to it, you need time to adapt and adjust. But, you know, younger people are much more open to the ideas of augmented reality. Like, you know, Pokemon Go was a phenomena for a little bit, and that's a version of augmented reality people were quite comfortable with. And, you know, if you're a proponent, you'll say, look, if you're an older person, you can go and engage in activities that you might not be able to if you have challenges with certain things physically, like you can go on a run, you can go and play basketball, you can do any number of different things. And so, you know, it's being marketed to a wide swath of people, but again, I think that's getting over our skis a little bit in terms of who can actually use it. Certainly people that are tech savvy are going to be able to use it, and, you know, people like gamers, people in the Web3 community, it's really being marketed too hard. Is the metaverse the future, or will it be something more akin to Google Glass? That I don't have an answer to. If I was in the prediction business in that regard, I'd, you know, be making a lot more money off of bets than I'm making now. But, you know, I think that time will tell, right? You know, we're seeing Google Glass, for example, it sort of died out in popularity, but we're seeing, you know, Apple developing their own version of sort of AR glasses. These things come in cycles. And one thing about tech is it's iterative, right? It moves forward and then it can break and then it gets fixed and improved upon and then it moves forward again, and it's cyclical and these things continue to happen. So, you know, what we're talking about is the metaverse right now might not be what the metaverse looks like in 10 or 20 years. And I think it's important to recognize we're early in this process. So, you know, it might not be the metaverse as we popularly conceive of it right now. It's also not Google Glass right now. And this is the fact that there are numerous attempts being built out to make this a real thing. So that is a long way of saying I'm not sure, but also saying that definitely time will tell.